Good day, everyone. I'm Rebentin Dugan Jr. Let's talk about designing change strategies. In organizational life, change is no longer occasional. It is constant. But successful change does not happen just because leaders announce it. It happens when leaders design it well. Today, we will focus on two outcomes. First, exploring different change management strategies and approaches. And second, developing a practical change management plan for a specific organizational challenge. The main message here is simple. Change works better when leaders intentionally connect strategy, people, execution, and reinforcement. Many change efforts fail because leaders confuse activity with strategy. They communicate a new system, a new structure, or a new policy, but they do not design how people will move from the current state to the future state. The gap creates uncertainty and resistance. A good change strategy clarifies why the change is necessary, how fast it should move, who must be mobilized, and how success will be measured. In other words, strategy turns disruption into direction. Our route today has three parts. First, we will examine major change approaches, including structured, leadership-led, adoption-focused, participative, and agile methods. Second, we will look at how leaders choose the right approach for the right context. Third, we will apply those ideas to a concrete organizational challenge and turn them into a practical change plan. By the end, you should not only recognize the models, but know how to use them in decision making. There are several legitimate ways to approach change. Planned change gives structure and sequence. Leadership-led change, as seen in models like Qatar, emphasizes urgency and sponsorship. Individual adoption approaches like ADKAR focus on whether employees actually adopt new behavior. Participative OD emphasizes involvement, shared diagnosis, and co-creation. Agile change work well in dynamic environments where solutions evolve through experimentation. The important insight is this. These are not competing religions. They are strategic options. A common mistake is to become loyal to one model regardless of context. But effective leaders do not ask, which model do I like? They ask, what problem am I solving? Luwin is useful when the change is clear and bounded. Qatar is strong for large-scale transformation needing leadership energy. ADKAR is especially useful when the real issue is employee adoption. Agile and participative OD approaches work when uncertainty is high and learning must happen continuously. The keyword is fit. Before choosing a change strategy, leaders need a simple selection lens. How large is a change? How urgent is it? How certain is the future state? How much resistance is likely? And what kind of resistance is it? Finally, does the organization actually have the leadership, management, and support capability to carry the change? These dimensions help leaders choose an approach that is realistic rather than fashionable. Strategy is a design choice grounded in context. Let us move from theory to application. Imagine a company rolling out a new digital workflow system. The technology itself is promising, but adoption is weak. Some managers are supportive, others are passive, and users are finding workaround instead of using the intended process. Training was delivered once, but not reinforced. Leadership is asking why the system is not delivering results. This is where change strategy matters because the problem is not only technical, it is organizational and behavioral. The first step is diagnosis. Leaders often rush to solutions before they truly understand the problem. In our case, low adoption might look like employee resistance, but the deeper causes may include poor management alignment, unclear expectations, weak support structures, or process overload. Diagnosis means collecting data from workflows, user experience, culture, leadership behavior, and stakeholder concerns. It means asking better questions and replacing assumptions with evidence. Good strategy begins with good diagnosis. Once diagnosis is clear, leaders design the future state. This means specifying what people must do differently, not just what technology will be installed. It also means choosing the implementation path. Will the organization use a pilot, a phased rollout, or a big bang launch? The design must align sponsorship, communication, training, coaching, and support. And success measures must be defined before launch, not after problems appear. Design is where vision becomes an actionable blueprint. Engagement is not a public relations step. It is a strategic step. A strong sponsor coalition signals seriousness. Middle managers must be equipped because employees often interpret change through their direct supervisors. Change champions help translate the message laterally across teams. Feedback channels matter because they surface friction early. Most importantly, stakeholders should be involved early enough to influence the solution. Participation must not eliminate resistance, but it reduces uncertainty and increases ownership. Execution should not be confused with a simple launch event. In most cases, it is better to pilot, learn, adapt, and then scale. Quick wins matter because they build credibility. Barrier removal matters because people lose confidence when obvious problems stay unresolved. Communication must remain two-way so that leaders hear real concerns instead of just broadcasting updates. Effective execution is disciplined learning. The organization moves forward while continuously improving the change process itself. Many change efforts fail after launch because reinforcement is weak. Sustainment means integrating the new way of working into performance measures, governance routines, meetings, rewards, and leadership behavior. It also means monitoring not only system usage, but proficiency and sentiment. If frustration remains high, the change is not yet stable. Leaders must model the behavior they expect. Sustainment is not glamorous, but it is the stage where change becomes part of everyday performance. This slide translates the strategy into a concise plan. Notice that the plan is specific. It names the goal, the audiences, the interventions, the milestones, and the measures. That structure makes the strategy actionable. Different stakeholder groups need different forms of support. Interventions include sponsorship, coaching, pilot teams, technical support, and peer influence through champions. For our case, the aim is high active use within 90 days. Milestone and measure keep the plan accountable and visible. A strong change strategy also includes a watch list. Leaders need measures that reveal whether the change is moving from announcement to adoption. Useful indicators includes system usage, proficiency, cycle time, error levels, employee sentiments, and manager follow-through. Risks also need to be named early. Weak sponsorship, overload, training gaps, local workarounds, and fatigue can quietly undermine the change. Good leaders do not wait for failure. They monitor the signals and intervene early. Let me close with one message. Change succeeds when leaders move beyond announcements and design the journey carefully. That means choosing an approach that fits the real problem, engaging stakeholders early, executing in waves, and reinforcing the new way until it becomes normal. The true outcome of change is not activity, it is adoption, value creation, and lasting performance. Designing change strategies, then, is ultimately about leading people with clarity, fit, and discipline. Thank you for listening.